Okay. Okie dokie. We are back. Apologies for the slight interruption. Little bit of a power outage where I'm at right now, but we're back, ready to roll. Nothing crazy went on. Just a slight, very subtle, very minor, very short power surge. Very short power surge. But we're back, bro. The heat is kicking my house. The heat is kicking my flat. The heat is kicking my building. The heat is kicking my area. So much so that the power's going out. Fucking wild. Absolutely wild. But it did give me some time. It did give me some brief time to get chatting to my neighbors, have a little bit of neighborly, corridor, ha he chat with them, shoot the shit, hang out a bit, and have a good old time. So big up my neighbors for informing me. Nothing went wrong. Just a nice, subtle power cut, power surge in my building because of the heat. You love it. You gotta love it, right? I get loads of natural sunlight. Menlin is popping. I'm feeling fresh. I'm really sweaty and sticky, but the power goes off randomly, like I'm living in fucking Nicaragua. You gotta love it. Anyway, continuing on. Let's finish off the Yuri point, then we'll move on to the other topics. I was playing the video that featured Almighty Suspect, a throwback clip from the No Jumper subreddit that featured Almighty Suspect responding to Yuri trying to poor setup shame him. Let's play the clip and let's continue.
Lame poor ass nigga struggling with dollar streams was trying to sub and talk shit about me getting a low end PC or low cost setup. It's like, nigga, I just got this motherfucker. I just started this shit. Why would I go get a 10K setup, nigga, and I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing? Yeah, I'm about to go get whatever regular shit so I can figure it out and then upgrade over time. You know what I'm saying, nigga? I was always taught act broke, stay rich, nigga, and live below your means, not above.
Exactly.
You know
I
what
agree.
I'm saying?
I agree
Keep
that
your
too.
shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree
you
that
got
too.
it don't mean spend it. You don't
I
got
agree that
200.
too.
You don't got 100 till you got 200. You know what I'm saying? So especially when you jumping into something new.
I never understood anyway why Yuri was flexing with the house thing as well. Maybe it's an American thing. Maybe I don't understand. But I never understood the idea of like flexing that you're renting a house if you don't even own it. Like there's a remember because he's moved now to where is it? Wherever he's moved to, I don't know where it is. My geography of America isn't the greatest. But he doesn't live where he was at previously. Maybe in part with what happened with Lush, who knows? Either way, they've both moved there closer to be with Riley's family. There was a period of time where he was acting like, oh yeah, and I live in a house. It's like, okay, congrats, I guess, isn't it? But you don't own it. It's like, typically living at like, maybe because of your setup and the fact that it's just you and your cat and your dog or whatever, maybe it's beneficial to live on one floor, maybe. Now you're in a different place. I don't know, whatever. I found the whole Yuri kind of flexing on people weird based on like, him as a person and how he kind of acts strange anyway. But maybe if you're Yuri and you spent that much time getting quote unquote bullied and sort of like shit on the internet, maybe you have a reason to kind of dunk on people because you feel like people have been dunking on you your whole entire life. That might be the reason. Anyway, continuing on, another clip of Almighty Suspect calling Yuri Riley a bitch and saying that Yuri's ugly. This is a legendary clip. I love this one. One of my favorite ones because I think this is what everyone was thinking, but Almighty Suspect said it aloud and said it with zero kindness.
But beauty standards have changed for guys.
You don't know
and
how
girls.
this shit work for real, Yuri. You could be the ugliest nigga ever. Yuri, you like a foe. Bro, your bitch is hot.
I'm a 4?
You like a 4. I'm just saying, you ain't never walked down the street, seen an ugly ass nigga walk down the street with a fire ass bitch and was just like, how?
How did you guys meet? Are you not
See,
going to
it's
tell
your
us how you
wholesome
met?
personality.
What?
How'd you guys meet?
Instagram.
Who hit who?
Well, basically, she saw me on like some No Jumper content, and like coincidentally, she was not like watching No Jumper content. She was a fan of Juice WRLD. Adam had just did something with Juice WRLD. She watched that, got some other shit recommended. Oh, and then she was a fan of Aaron Carter, right? And I was on the thing with Aaron Carter where he gave me a hug, and she saw that shit, and I guess she thought I was handsome or some shit, and she fucking like tried to find my Instagram.
Handsome.
She followed me. I saw she followed me, and then
Girls calling guys handsome is always like low-key a diss, isn't it? If a girl calls you handsome, it's low-key a diss. If you're not cute or you're not hot, just allow it. Don't call me handsome. That's low-key a diss. That's almost like I find you good looking, but I'm sure other women wouldn't. There's something about you that I like, but I'm sure regular women or you're by conventional beauty standards, you're not it, but I find you good looking, you know, which is nice because that's the person you should take the opinion of the most, and that's who matters. But a girl calling you handsome is never a flex, it's never a good thing. But in this kind of regard, anyway, just to kind of end this point, I find the whole obsession people have with Yuri and Riley weird, more so in the sense of people focusing on the fact that people think that Yuri's ugly and they think Riley's hot, and they think Yuri kind of doesn't deserve her. I don't like that narrative. I just like him as a locale and somebody to kind of observe from afar, because he's so bizarre. As somebody that's like in his 30s, like he acts like a child, but then has like mature parts of him, but then is a proper pussy, but then talks like with his whole chest online to people and thinks there's never going to be any consequences to things that he says. Like, I kind of like the entertainment factor of him. I love him as a package, but the whole like people being obsessed with him fucking Riley or being with Riley and thinking that Riley deserves something better, I don't think I vibe with that at all. I don't get it. I don't get this like white knight sort of thing, or people telling people what girls they deserve to have and don't deserve to have. It's just strange, that energy in general. But I bet a lot of these guys that say that sort of stuff about Yuri are probably guys that look like Yuri. So maybe in the real world, outside of No Jumper fame, if you are Yuri, you don't get the luck of like finding a girl like a Riley, maybe, on looks part of it. Because you're a dork, because you're a bit of a loser and a lame and a bit of a pussy, people are not really going to look at you that way. And because Yuri had a bit of No Jumper fame and a bit of clout, that might have helped him look a certain way. It might have gave him a bit of his fan base. It might have let him look a bit more appealing to girls. I don't know. LA shit. But I think in general, if you're hating on Yuri for going out with a girl that you think is attractive, I think that's lame. And I think when you look at it a bit closer and you see their lifestyle and their personal hygiene habits and shit, I don't know. As much as I rag on Yuri for not showering, which he doesn't, he legitimately hates showering. He gaslights his audience when they try and tell him to shower and shit. He gets really upset when they remind him to shower. He doesn't like it. He sweats a bunch. He skates. He's on the fucking e-scooter. He's out and about in the fucking sun all the time. Doesn't shower, maybe twice, if not 3 times a week. Horrendous. I think a girl that's willing and able and happy to stay with somebody like that probably is a bit funky themselves. So yes, she may look okay on the outside for some of you guys, but you have to be careful what you wish for. Because if Yuri's not showering, most likely she's not showering. And girls, when they don't shower, is probably a little bit more dangerous, you know, with their whole bodily functions, makeup and shit. When a girl doesn't shower like that, that's a bit more funky. So I wouldn't really go too hard on the whole let's save Riley thing, because I think they're probably both as nice as each other, and the whole saving Riley narrative is kind of lame because, you know, they're together, they love each other. It's a bit dysfunctional, but it works for them. Moving on. We have to play this clip. It features Brendan, actually, on his Instagram page. It looks like Brendan has got a new car. Somehow, this guy is able to just keep raking in the dollars, even though the content is terrible. Even though the content is garbage, in my personal opinion, it's really, really, really bad. Somehow, it still keeps him at a level where you can keep purchasing whips and shit, which is probably a good place to be. That might be part of the American dream. Get away with making a bunch of money doing abject content, right? Abject content, make the most money possible, and just keep scamming the system to your heart's content. That might be part of the American podcasting dream. So I can't hate on him too much for it. But it looks like Brendan got himself a new whip. He got himself a new whip. If you take a look at his Instagram account, there's his Instagram. There's a picture here of a car that looks quite similar to something I've seen Bill Burr talk about. I'm not sure if I'm mistaken, but I feel like, because again, I don't know much about American pickup truck culture, but I feel like I've seen or heard Bill Burr or somebody talk about this sort of thing. It's a kind of car like your dad drove when you were younger, maybe somebody in the area drove, had a lot of utility behind it, had a lot of lore, a lot of history, Ford, blah, 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 blah. I think I've heard someone like Bill Burr, somebody spoke about this with really glowing terms and about having to try to, you know, fix it up yourself and all this sort of stuff, and it'd be like a really long-term build project that you kind of work on and maybe down the line hand to your kids, la-di-da-di-da-da. Well, it looks like Brendan is fully leaning into the whole pickup, working class, middle class, working man, blue collar grift. He's now going up a new whip. Even though the podcast numbers keep dropping, even though the ads are terrible, even though the content is horrible, the cash keeps rolling in. You cannot hate on the guy. The money just keeps on coming. Big up Bappa. Bappa in the caption. The perfect truck doesn't exist, question mark. Hold my big gulp, sir. This Velocity Restorations 1970 F100 unlocked a new life goal. I don't want to give it back. Straight up my fave all time. Nothing beats a single cab like this. So it seems like he didn't buy it based on his caption. Maybe he got lent it to him because he's an influencer and he's got his own show, Drive Fast, all gas shit. Maybe that's why they lent it to him. Maybe because he's got a big following on social media. I don't know. But the way he worded it, maybe it's not his, but he's trying to act like it is. Maybe it's not. I don't really know. Either way, the truck is actually nice. I'm not going to lie. I actually do like the look of it. I like the rims. I like the color. I like the finish. It looks very, 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 very fucking cool. It continues, next page. Oh, it's a video actually. Him talking. Let's hear Brendan talking us through this car.
You guys got to check this thing out. I've driven everything. You name it, your boy's probably either owned it or had it given to me to drive for a few days.
Let me refresh it because it's fucking skipping like a motherfucker. Let me refresh it. I want to hear it. I want to hear this guy. I want to hear this guy be a car YouTuber. Let's hear him once again.
You guys got to check this thing out.
We got to check it out. Cool.
I've driven everything. You name it, your boy's.
This keeps fucking pausing. Bear with me 1 second. Let me actually download this so I can actually watch it because I want to watch this in full. I want to hear this guy. I want to hear this guy do his best impression of a car YouTuber. It's going to be fucking hilarious. You know? It's been my dream. And the thing I don't understand about him as well, there's no I don't think, maybe because I'm just too normal and not a pathological liar, but I swear there's nothing wrong with just saying, yeah, now that I've got, now that I've got some extra time, I don't know, I really get into pickup trucks and I saw this on the internet, I saw this on social media, it popped up on my feed, on my discovery page, and I had to have it. What's wrong with just saying that? Why do you have to create this like fake lore, this fake nostalgia, this imagined nostalgia, as if like you grew up on these trucks and you make some fake story about your uncle having it and your dad driving you? Like, what's with these fake stories? Why can't you just say, I've got some money, I like buying nice things, I'm into cars, I saw this thing, I want to buy it, I bought it. There's nothing wrong with it. Why did you pretend like you have always been into it? It's like, bro, we have hours and hours, if not days, of content of you online. We know what you like and what you don't like. You've spoken about it ad nauseum. Like, why lie? Why lie? I don't understand the lie. I really don't get the lie, but I guess that's part of it. Maybe that's part of the whole like shtick to kind of act like you're really with it when you're not really with it. But for me, I don't really understand. Let's play it anyway one more time on here. Bear with me one more if I get it up on here to load, and then we're gonna see what he's saying. But let's go one more time. Let's see what Papa's saying about this particular pickup truck that he purchased.
You guys got to check this thing out. I've driven everything. You name it, your boy's probably either owned it or had it given to me to drive for a few days. And then my boys at Velocity let me drive this for a few days.
Okay, so it's certain he doesn't own it. They let him drive it. I guess it's good promo. I guess a lot of these places as well, because I'd imagine even though people are into cars a lot, probably hard to shift a lot of these things. There's probably a finite amount of buyers out there, probably the same amount of people buying the same amount of things again and again. So you're having to just kind of try to get it in different places to try to attract customers. Probably that's why people do this sort of stuff. So even though Brendan does probably have the biggest reach when it comes to car content, it's still some reach. 1 million followers is still 1 million followers, even though some of them might be paid for. I guess these platforms would rather have you put it on your page, drive it around a bit, advertise it. Maybe you might get somebody on the street that might want to buy it. But this is quite good marketing for them in that regard. So he didn't buy it. It's not his. But it probably is the nicest car he's owned recently. In the last few years of him being into pickup trucks, the one car he doesn't own actually is the nicest one.
This is a F100, a 1970 F100 resto mod. Straight
Resto
up,
mod. Okay.
the best vehicle I've ever driven. It's I love single bed trucks.
I guess the restaurant mod is the idea, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it the idea of like taking like a really old car but then just upgrading all the insides, so like the engine, the steering, the suspension, all this sort of stuff, like modernizing all that stuff. I think even to the point of doing the interior and adding like touch screens, all that sort of malarkey. I think that's what people are doing. And obviously if you're Rogan, you get a custom seat where it's kind of like, you get like a little booster seat, which is hilarious. All of these cars have which will probably make it hard for him to shift any of those cars because they all have these custom seats built into them to kind of, you know, allow him to not be such a little tiny man inside of them.
Trucks, this thing's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, big up Wiggins McDingus. Never forget AZ thought Elon Musk Cybertruck was good. No, I still think it's good. I didn't thought it was good. I still think it's good. I think it gets a lot of hate because, you know, it's objectively pretty ugly looking car, but I quite like the ugliness of it. I like how insane it must look on the streets because I've never seen it on the roads because you're not legally allowed to have them in the UK. Although I have heard, or maybe I saw a YouTube channel actually, somebody said that somebody had imported one into the UK and are driving it around, but most likely they're not going to ever be able to be driven around the UK legally. But I am a fan of what they look like visually. I think they must look incredible in the US, just having these fucking crazy stainless steel fucking, you know, things just bellowing down the fucking motorways. Must be fucking crazy. Probably not the safest thing to be in or to be hit by, but I still like the Cybertruck. I think it's, and I also like the fact that, to be honest, when it comes to Tesla, personally for me, I like the fact that Elon is able to put stuff into like, he's able to make a concept car and make it real, you know, because in manufacturing car world, for the most part, there's loads of cool concept cars. You see them all the time at car shows. Always these cool ideas on like, you know, the new next evolution of the BMW M series, all this sort of malarkey. But then when they finally put the car in production, they'll usually take a really insignificant part of the concept car and put it in production. Maybe it's the headrest, maybe it's the dashboard, maybe it's the steering wheel, but it's never the whole entire car in terms of how it looked, futuristic and shit. So at least Elon with Tesla, what he's doing is that he's pushing manufacturers in general across the board to try and delight their customers by actually manufacturing their concept cars. And that's what they've done. Don't get me wrong, the actual first illustration of the Cybertruck was far better than what came in production, but I still love the Cybertruck. I'm not gonna lie. I still like it as a design. And I definitely would have one if I could.
Has a Gen 3 Coyote motor in it. Check this out. Look at this.
He doesn't even know fuck about motors. I love that. Look at this, the silence. Look at this, the silence. Look, an engine. Engine parts. He knows nothing about, like, I don't understand the shilling. Like, I don't understand the fake posturing, the stolen valor of car thing. Maybe I need to get more into cars to find out, but I thought of being humble and actually acting like you don't really know much about cars is actually a bit of a cheat code, right? To kind of get you, ingratiate you in the scene, so people kind of like what you're about. I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm not really sure why he is pretending like he knows Wagwan with the engine and what the, I mean, it's just like, bro, come on. Look at the silence. Nothing saying.
I'm obsessed, man.
I'm obsessed. Oh, well, comment on what you see then, bro. It's a video. You're just there silent.
Tings, Forge line wheels here.
Okay, the wheels he knows about.
Ridiculous. You got the 20s in the back.
Offset. Okay, when it comes to wheels, all the cosmetic stuff that regular guys like myself would know about, I know about that stuff, right? Maybe changing the steering wheel, maybe changing the seats, maybe the exhaust, right? Exhaust, all this sort of shit. Wheels, rims, tires. I think most of us will understand that. But when it comes to the actual nitty gritty car shit, he doesn't know anything. And he just goes silent. That bit was incredible when he opens the fucking bonnet. Let's say it one more time. That was so good.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Has a Gen 3 Coyote motor in it.
Okay, you know the name of it? You know the name of it? Opens it up. No.
Look at this.
Pure silence. No interesting tidbits on anything in there. Nothing. Just the name of the engine. Like he read it off of a fucking what you call it, product listing page on the website. That's it.
I'm obsessed, man.
I'm obsessed.
19s, Forge line wheels here. The offset's ridiculous. You got the 20s in the back. Again,
Yeah, exactly, Chris Rizze. There's nothing wrong with just being a driver or just the look. Not everyone is an engineer. Through the lying about the knowledge is the issue. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with just having a load of money and wanting to buy some nice things. And nowadays, if you're a man and you're not into fucking fancy sneakers and you're not into art, there's not a lot of stuff that you can actually buy, you know, to kind of have your fun, little toys and shit. Not much, especially if you don't booze or party that much. What more can you buy? So if you're into cars, you just want to like buy fancy cars, drive them for a bit, sell them, maybe rent some, keep driving them, and just fuck around with them. It's no harm, no shame or power in that. There's probably loads of people out there that do that sort of stuff. But for some reason, for Brendan, that's not enough. You have to kind of also fake that you're like a mechanic. You have to also fake that you are like I said, like Chris Rizzo said, an engineer. Like you're you're a quote unquote stereotypical gearhead. Like you actually know how to, like, you know, restore engines and all this sort of stuff and build, you know, do a build from the ground up. It's like, bro, we know you can't. Most of us can't. That's why sometimes we enjoy some of these YouTubers and live kind of vicariously through them. It's okay to just be into cars, have money, and just kind of indulge your curiosities. What's the problem with that? But for Brendan, it's not enough. For Brendan, it's never fucking enough. But that car is actually nice, to be fair, and it legitimately is the best thing he actually owns, unironically, which is actually the one thing that he doesn't actually own, which is fucking wild. But I absolutely do fucking love it, and you probably should buy those type of cars way more than this fake restoration mod thing that he keeps on doing. Let's actually read the comments to see if people agree with me and people are actually liking the car, because I think it actually looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see what these guys are saying here in the comments. Bear with me 1 second if I try to kind of get this fucking page to load up on here. If you enjoyed the stream, you see what you like what you see, make sure you smash the like button down below also. That'd be greatly appreciated, my dear friends and family down below. Let's get the page up on here. I want to see what he actually says in the comments. Do other people agree with me here about him faking the funk, or do they think the car's shit? Someone says, wait till you drive a double bed truck. I think the bed, they're meaning the pickup bit at the back, right? Single bed, double bed. I guess double bed means it's longer. I guess bed meaning like size of a bed. You can fit in one of them. I got a sweet 91 S10 with 70k, 4.3 liter that tops all of them. Try driving one of those. Beautiful, but in my opinion, the 6972 Chevy body is the greatest. Let's see what that looks like, actually. I'm curious to see that. What does a 69 Chevy truck look like? Let's see that. 69 Chevy, was it truck? I want to see what that looks like. What does that look like? Ooh, that does actually look pretty cool. Okay, this person's got a point. Oh, there's a Hot Wheels truck for it as well. Yeah, this person's got a really good point. That 69 C10 Chevy shape is very fucking cool. I love how boxy it is at the front. That looks really fucking nice. Now, how is it to drive every day? I don't know. I have no idea. But this, look at that at the bottom. Look at that red and white one. That is beautiful. That 69 Chevy, that one right there. That is gorgeous, bro. I'd drive the fuck out of that. That is really fucking nice. So yeah, this person was spot on with their analysis. That is really fucking sweet. You've got a silver one there that's been lowered. You've got a yellow one there that looks fucking insane. That white one I'm not too fond of too much, but yeah, these are really nice. That white and black, you know, that black one there is beautiful. Wow, that's really fucking nice. There's one that's been lifted or been raised a bit. That looks pretty cool. The wheels on that look really cool. The rims on that are really fucking impressive as well. That's really fucking nice. So yeah, that whole entire shape what they're talking about is really cool. That's fucking beautiful. Someone says here. Someone else says, what made you switch out of the exotics and more build type vehicles? Money, of course. That's actually the thing that I'm actually curious about also. He could have done this in conjunction. He didn't need to like stop buying Porsches and Ferraris to buy pickup trucks. He could have still bought the Porsches and Ferraris and had these. That would make for a really cool car collection. But I'm assuming most likely when the money dried up, he had to probably pick and choose what type of cars he was going to get into. And maybe these pickup trucks are way more, I'd imagine they're probably cheaper to have and whatnot. And I'd imagine maybe after a while his Porsche RS and stuff or GTRS probably accrued a lot of value. Probably hard to get a hold of them as well, especially with the mods he's done to them and shit. So you're probably able to make a little money on them. And obviously you can then go and do what he did there. The Toehold company made a fucking thing on there as well. Did he actually answer this? I don't think he answered this, did he? No way he answered this, did he? No, he didn't. He did not answer this. He did not answer this. Someone says pandering. Got 8 likes. How are you gonna call it a single bed truck and act like you know anything about trucks? 83 likes. Any old school truck beats the brakes off of any new shit. The feel of a real metal, the style. Just driving something 47 years old, knowing that the new Raptor TRX will be in a junkyard somewhere in 10 to 15 years. Okay. I'm glad. What's that person said here? I'm glad you went American and some classic American over the exotics. The exotics are cool and no doubt, but hard to beat classic American cars and trucks. Next, you need a Resto 1970 C10 standard cab short bed. Those are my favorite trucks. So yeah, cool. I like it. It's actually quite cool. It's actually quite cool for a change when it comes to Papa. So moving brass tacks. Let's switch on to Thiccc. So Thiccc episode number 1016. I think I need to talk about, right? Because 1017 just dropped, which I'm going to be watching later when I come back from the gym. But we're going to go through to doing some analysis on 1016, courtesy of the Thiccc. So the first clip here will be at 10 minutes and 55 seconds. It features Brian Callen talking about one time when he was coming up and he got speaking to a young actress and he kind of big timed the actress because at the time he was currently up, going through a good time, a good spell in his life. And he felt like the actress was kind of down and he kind of big timed him and acted like a dick. And he's kind of being self-deprecating, talking about the story. I just find it funny how, you know, Brendan kind of sits there quietly and agrees and just nods along. Doesn't really have much to add to the story. And I also find it funny that Brian would have this attitude against anybody anyway, because his acting career hasn't really been that stellar. Yes, he's got some credits, but considering the amount of time he spent in Hollywood, he hasn't really been in really that many great things for the amount of time he's been in. So for him to stunt on anybody is really, really heinous, and maybe speaks to the overall malaise or malady that he kind of has, and lack of self-awareness in his career that maybe has kind of hampered his trajectory in the long run. Let's play the clip and let's see what you guys think.
The woman who played his, like, she's one of the great actors that you would never know, right? And Sid and Nancy, she played Nancy, okay? And can you just bring up her name? She's such an actress. If you're an actor like me, especially back, Chloe Webb. Is that her name? Chloe Webb, yes. So if you're an actor like me from that era, okay, you realize that she's the actor's actor. She's so fucking good.
She's still alive?
And I'll never be that good, I'm sure.
Okay,
but she's also one of those people that never became a movie star because of the way she looks, and she's just, but she was so good, and she every movie she's ever done.
Brendan wants to call her ugly so bad. He wants to say something mean and say something rude so bad. You can tell he's itching to say it.
Was iconic. Like, every movie she ever done was guys like me couldn't touch that. We'd be like, how the fuck did you do that? You know, she's one of those.
Also, the sandals during the podcast drive me fucking crazy, but I've made many rants. I've said many rude and insulting and very vicious things about Brian Callen's sandals. I will not continue. I will not be triggered. I will not be goaded into a reaction. I'm just going to let it go.
Pure talent that also is probably dysfunctional in real life and probably isn't the most gorgeous, like, you know, perfect. So she didn't.
I bet you didn't get roles because of that hat.
1,000 things, dude. But she's an amazing, phenomenal artist, right?
Oh, I know her from Twins.
Yeah. She's just a beautiful act. But
she was Danny DeVito's girlfriend in Twins.
Yes.
That's what I know her from.
But the shit she did with Sid and Nancy, like, that was, like, all of us were like, fuck. Like, you would study that in acting school. You understand? And jerk off Brian Callen, cocky shithead Brian Callen. I'm having dinner. She's sitting across from me. And I had done some sitcoms and Mad TV, okay? And I'm talking down to her because she's talking about being an actress, because I'm bringing up actress. And she kind of says something like, I hate that. She was talking about, I hate that. And then the cameras are there and I was like, oh God, here's this fucking extra talking now about acting for me. Like you have something in common with me. And I blew her off. I got annoyed at her because I was like,
imagine being a legit actor like this woman was, and having someone like Brian Callen blow you off during the conversation. Hollywood must be one of the most weirdly humbling places to be at, because sometimes you could be at some nondescript restaurant, cafe, whatever, hanging out, shooting the shit with your fellow colleagues, and some person who just appeared on Mad TV is big timing you because they're on fucking Mad TV. It's current at the time, it's pop at the time, it's doing its thing, but it's fucking Mad TV, and they're big timing you. Whew.
She's talking. You're not an actress. You've never been in a movie. You know, don't start acting like you know what I know, and I don't know anything. And
Just
I
young,
fucking
dumb, full of cum.
dumb piece of
You
shit
got this
that I am.
woman talking.
Also, don't do that to anybody.
No.
Also, don't do that to anybody.
No, 'cause-
But they did, and they do. That's the thing that I've always understood from these guys reading between the lines, which is why I find it hilarious whenever they try and act like, you know, the comments online from people are way meaner and they say horrible things. It's like, bruh, for sure these guys say the worst things about each other behind each other's back, especially in the green room. Those hallowed green rooms they talk about, and about how there is these holy places where they go and hang out and shoot the shit, and only the best communities can be in there, only the greatest hands can be in there. I think most of the time the green room is spent bickering and gossiping about other people in the business who they hate, dislike, or think are undeserving of their fame, whatever it may be. I'm sure of it. Most of it has to be that way, because a lot of these guys have a very warped perception of themselves. Because you would imagine, again, looking at Brian Callen's credits, I don't think there's ever a time in his career, even where he can dunk on an extra. There's no time, because you're still trying to figure it out. You're not really solidified that much that you can dunk on an extra and feel superior. I don't think you can if you're Brian Callen. You barely got any decent credits yourself. Big up Brian in the stream chat. It says, what do you say? Big up Brian in the stream chat. Is Callen wearing a Toho t-shirt? Yes, he is, sir. Yes, he actually is. So much so for the de-investment, right? I always thought that de-investment rant and announcement was more so a tactic to get the trolls and the Thiccc people stop commenting on Toho's account when he publicly said, hey, I'm no longer involved in the business, because I think the Toho's company were just pissed off that they were getting all the negative Brian attention on their page. They didn't want that. They just wanted to sell fucking overpriced sandals, which I understand. But I always thought like Brian didn't de-invest. He didn't, you know, take out his money, and instead he just, you know, remained a silent partner and just stopped talking about it too much on his own pod, which then didn't drive the customers over there to talk about it anymore too much. I think that's the case. Hence why he's wearing a t-shirt, I'd imagine.
I did, because I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it's those moments you look back on your life where you go, you arrogant, blind, dumb. And then I find out it's Chloe Webb after this. I was like, ah!
You blew.
And I think that only happens because his career's down in the dirt. I think you only have those kind of like, you know, retrospective sort of like look backs at your career, what you did, what you didn't do right, blah, 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 the mistakes that you made. I think you only have that when things go down, things go south for you, things don't work out the way you wanted it to work out. And now you're trying to sort of like make sense of it. You're trying to almost rationalize it. And I think that's what these guys do. I think so. And then you're trying to look back at all the times they did something wrong, and you're almost trying to make you're almost trying to pinpoint the moments where you might have created some bad karma for yourself. I think that's what people are basically doing here. I'd imagine so. Because I think if Brian Callen's career is on the up and up, I don't think he thinks about that woman one iota, not 1 second, not one blip, not one bit whatsoever. He doesn't think about her at all. If his career's on the up and up, if he's on the Goldbergs, if he's on school, sort of doing his thing, if he's in Joker 2, he doesn't think about that woman ever again, you know? But now that's not the case. Things have changed. Now you're thinking about interactions you had with people 30 plus years ago. What a life. What a bloody life. Continuing on. The Brian Callen theme. We got this clip close to the Final Kid subreddit, which I think is taken from Brian Callen's actual Instagram page. So Callen's doing these things now where he kind of sits there and rants about certain topics in his car. I guess this kind of has replaced, what was that car show he had? Was it like car driving my car diaries or something? Remember he had some like Brian's had a bunch of these kind of show ideas that he does and never kind of follows through and does maybe 1 or 2 episodes of and then kind of ditches. And the same with his podcast, right? He's had like 17 over the last kind of 20 plus years he's been in the scene. So I feel like he did some sort of like car show he was meant to be doing, but he didn't follow through on it. So I think this is the continuation of it. But in this particular show, he sits parked in his Tesla and then rants about certain things, which already is very boomery, right? Very boomery and very weird that he's just sitting there in his Tesla in the baking heat, ranting about things online and stuff is fucking wild. But I've also heard Teslas have great noise suppression and shit, so you can't really hear that much from the outside anyway, if need be. But I find this clip super embarrassing and super cringe because I feel like, and I've said it plenty of times on a particular stream, I feel like there's no shame in giving up. I feel like there's no shame in hanging up your hat, hanging up your fucking microphone, and just kind of stepping away from the stage, stepping away from the mic. It's better you do it than have the people in the scene, behind the scenes, tell you when to give up. I think you should give up yourself. I'm thinking when it comes to Brian Callen, trying to go viral, trying to get some notoriety online, trying to, compete with the Matt Rifes of this world, I just think you need to give up at this stage. You've had your chance. You did well with it. You maybe blew it towards the end, but it's not going to flipping go that way that he wants. But this is Brian, talking about Olympic swimming, I guess.
The most basic form of like any type of movement is if you watch an animal, because there's no thought process behind it. It's just all instinct. So
does anybody besides me think that swimming gets a little too much attention in the Olympics?
That kind of that fucking faux shouty thing that he does as well. The veins on his neck, the screaming almost, the lisp from the Invisalign that has never kind of worked. I feel like he's had Invisalign for like 10 plus years or something. Especially that close to a camera, he looks incredibly old. The massive snoge, it's just too much, man. It really is too much.
The last time I cared about beating somebody in a swimming race, I think I was 9 years old. I mean, 4 years of sitting in a pool for maybe winning by a fraction of a second. There's only one sponsor in the sport as far as I can tell, Speedo, so good luck making any money. And yeah, they have good bodies from the waist up, but from the waist down, I've seen Smurfs with better legs in a lot of cases. Gymnastics. That's how you
promote your up-and-coming dates, ranting about the fucking Olympics and saying that you don't really rate swimming too much to promote your Toledo and Palo, Texas and Edmonton fucking shows. Fucking hell. Just give up, man. If you can't get people to come to your shows by just doing actual stand-up and maybe being funny on your actual podcast, doing these sort of like clips in order to try to go viral or jump on the latest trend is super lame and weird to me. My opinion.
That's got utility outside of gymnastics. Like it's great for kung fu, or if you're an art thief and you have to dodge lasers, I guess. And then there's shot put, another sport that, man, 4 years to be able to say that you can throw a cannonball farther than anybody else. And what if you come in 6th? Now you're the 6th best cannonball hurler. I admire the commitment, but man, talk about risk.
I don't really understand this whole like new trend I've seen online. And I think it's mainly coming from a particular podcasting glitterati where they're always dunking on the Olympics and those type of sports that aren't the conventional sports that they usually play. Like, I don't understand the constant hating on the Olympics. I don't get it as a spectacle. It's every 4 years. Most of the time in sports that, unless you actually watch them, you probably don't give a fuck about anyway. So I don't really see why some people are so pressed by it when you could just easily avoid it. And I also don't see how people questioning the validity of the athletes makes any sense when a lot of these guys are in very hyper specialized niche sports that are incredibly competitive and there's not a lot of money in it. So you're actually doing it for the love. You're actually doing it for the competition. You're actually doing it for the thrill. You're not doing it for the big sponsors and you add money because it doesn't exist unless you actually make it to top level anyway. So the fact that a lot of these guys and girls get hate from me is just a lot of like weird, misplaced anger, really and truly, or frustration in general. It's just really, really strange, and I find it odd, just in general. You got Brian Callen out here espousing some of these talking points and ranting and bickering about swimming while he's sitting in his fucking, very expensive and luxurious air-conditioned fucking, Tesla. It's just very, very odd and very bizarre to me. I've never understood it. I never get why certain people, especially Americans, seem to have such a hard on about the Olympics and why it isn't good and shit. And it's just fucking weird to me. It's just fucking fucking weird to me. I swear to God. Moving on. We've got another picture here that features Brendan Schaub's truck. Actually, this particular color is an update. Sorry, courtesy of Brendan Schaub's Instagram account. Is updating a color, which I actually like. So finally, we've got Brendan going back to the factory default on his particular pickup truck. Is Ford Lightning, the truck that he's probably, judging by how many times we see Brendan's Ford Lightning truck broken down and in the garage need to be fixed, it's safe to assume that this guy might have he has spent in the region of $1 million plus on this pickup truck. A 20-year-old pickup truck that was already a lemon before he bought it. He spent probably $150,000 on it. Easy. And a lot of it's been like cosmetic shitty stuff and whatever maybe. But I've always said that I think, and I've always preferred the original stock silver color. I thought that was way better than whatever orange. The orange obviously to a point was decent, but then when he started to get different body panels done different colors to be mismatchy, I'm not too sure if that's like a LARP or like a cosplay of like working class people when you can't really afford to get the right color of the fucking truck, or you only find a beat up version, you make it work. I don't know. Maybe it's an ode, maybe it's a smile, maybe it's a diss. Who knows what the fuck he's doing? Either way, it's a good thing to see that happening, and the car has been restored to some form of glory. It's just a shame that we see a lot of updates regarding this pickup truck and its cosmetic updates. We don't really see what it goes on with the with the engine, and if it's been fixed, and is he gonna get it right, and all this malarkey. We never really see or hear that, so most likely it won't get fixed, it won't get sorted, it won't be okay, and it'll just keep getting worse and worse and worse, and absolutely, guess what? Worse. Bitch, you guessed it. It doesn't end up getting worse. Big up everybody in tuning in here. Says, what's it? What a waste of money. I guarantee the insurance didn't cover him wrecking his TRX either. No, I think it did. I think the insurance did pay out. I think the way he was acting, all coy and refusing to talk about it when it initially happened and stuff, I think it's proof that most likely somebody got in his ear and his team and said, look, I know you usually don't question us. I know you're usually blah, blah, blah. But at a particular time, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing because it might jeopardize your ability to make the money. And I'm assuming because money was tied up as well, you don't really have that kind of money just to spare. You kind of want to make sure everything is done properly. So I can kind of see him actually doing that. So I believe it was true. What are you guys saying here? With sponsors, I get hype for both of them. So cool. Let's continue on with that. Whilst we got this one, we got a post here that says how the tables turned, or how the turntables. What's this about? What's this? How the turntables. What's this about? How the turntables.
I'm not a black belt.
I always
English.
wonder when I watch you how often you have one of them little tobacco things in your mouth.
Every time.
Right now you got one.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Because it always looks like you have like dental work.
Yeah. You just remember.
He's kind of dissing him, isn't it? I always wonder every time you talk if you're actually redacted, or if you just had a molar taken out and you're a little bit high off the ante. That's a bit of a diss from Rogan, man. Jesus Christ, talk to him anyhow.
Give me one of them things.
Yeah, you got it, brother.
Is it a real problem, these things?
I love them. Shout out to Rogue Nicotine, dude.
Do you know anybody with mouth rot?
No, you're not going to get cancer from these.
Well, what are you, a doctor? The fuck kind of statement is that?
I mean,
there's a sticker right here.
They are addicted.
Is that good?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. This one's berry. This is new flavor berry.
Tastes
I
like
love
shit.
them, dude. Oh, dude. You won't find a more intense flavor. And listen, I don't.
Jesus, what? That's a really interesting fucking phrase, isn't it? That's a key shilling there. Rogan heard the show. Rogan heard the pathetic attempt of a show there. It's a very intense flavor. The notes are fucking sublime. It's like, what? The notes of these shitty nicotine pouches. The notes. That's what you're trying to tell me. Oh, Jesus, man. Honestly. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. What have we got here? Blah, 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 blah. What else can we got here? Oh, all your friends over at MSG laughing at your car or your barn. Let's see this one. This one will be a good one. Let's see this one.
About a month and a half. What does she do? Whiskey stuff.
Whoops, let me get it on the screen. Forgive me. The title is All Your Friends Over the Weekend at MSG Laughing at Your Brand.
About a month and a half. What does she do? Whiskey stuff. She's gonna kill me. Whiskey stuff. She's a whiskey rep. manager. She's gonna kill me right now.
Why would she kill
Tiger
you for
Thiccc.
that? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know, because I feel like I always get her brand wrong.
When else would it ever have mattered that you got our brand wrong, except for right now?
Here we
This
go.
would be the chance to get it right.
Here we go.
Right.
You get her brand wrong, like during sex.
Here we go. Here we go.
Come on, man.
Man. That's what I scream out every time. It's her brand.
Screwball?
Scream no.
Tiger Thick?
Whistling pig.
I'm so sorry.
That was good. That was fucking good. Big up Red Band. I thought the guy was gonna do it. I thought the actual comedian was going to. I thought that was a long play. I thought him stalling, not saying the name of the brand. I wish I remember the name. I don't remember it. I wish I could say it. I don't remember it. It's a great brand. I thought he was finally gonna say, "Oh yeah, it's that brand. You may have seen it before. Death by 1,000 Cuts, Tiger Thick whiskey." You know what I mean? But it was actually Red Band. Big up fucking Red Band. That was fucking hilarious. Big up Red Band for laying the smack down on him. I don't like how Joe laughed, personally. I'm not with it. You know, that was once your boy. You endorse that guy. You essentially introed him on stage. Even though Rogan wasn't there, which kind of looking back at it, I wonder if he did that on purpose because he didn't want to be on stage, or if that's how they usually do it. I've got a feeling that's how they usually do it though, right? With stand-up specials. When you do a stand-up special, usually the announcer isn't on the stage. But I have seen some where they are, where they just have regular openers and then you record the special after you get kind of introduced. But on that particular one, you'd be surprised. Rogan kind of announces Brendan on the stage like a UFC thing, but he doesn't actually, he's not really on the stage, you know, to give him a hug or anything, which is weird. So I wonder, did Rogan know it was terrible and just refuse to be on camera on the stage so it wouldn't be this, like, you know, evergreen content that kind of never went away of him like sitting next to you or something? I don't really know. Either way, great little joke there. I feel bad for Brendan for being dunked on. They should have had some Tiger Thick whiskey on the table there to kind of make him feel better about himself. And I'm curious why we haven't heard anything from Aaron Rodgers. Remember, Brendan went to meet Aaron Rodgers for some big time, bigwig meeting about Tiger Thick, and they were going to expand it in different markets, and it was going to blow up and become the biggest thing ever, blah, 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 blah. And nothing actually happened. Nothing actually happened with Tiger Thick. And I was one of the people, naively, gullibly, who believed that that was true, in part. And it never happened. It never fucking happened. What's going on there? Will we ever see batch 2? Will we ever see batch 3? Or 4 or 5? Or will all of those unopened bottles of batch 1 Tiger Thick whiskey that are just packed in boxes somewhere or loaded up on some pallet just like rot away? Because for sure whiskey has a sell by date, right? Or use by date. For sure has one. So can you imagine all those bottles going to waste and just filling up some, you know, bottom of an ocean somewhere and literally, like, you know, decimating the the local environment? Oh, I can't wait. But yeah, no updates so far from Tiger Thick. Big up that guy. Big up that blood clot guy. Moving on. Do you guys know who Manuel is? Do you guys know who Manuel is? I don't know who Manuel is. But according to Papa had a bit of a back and forth with Sean Strickland for some reason. Papa decided to post this post, courtesy of his fucking Instagram, which always gets him in trouble. Brendan posts this post on his Instagram that says, "When she finds out the real reason you drive a Tesla." Now, it might be on his Instagram still. Let's see if I can find it. Is it actually still there? It might be on his page so we can read it ourselves, the comments. Let's see. Has he actually still got it on his page, the post? Yeah, there it goes. That's the post. So Brendan posts this on his Instagram. When she finds out the real reason you drive a Tesla. And it features this with some music playing in the background. It's from a movie. I forgot what movie it is. The lady looks outside and finds her husband kissing his best friend, blah, 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 blah. And obviously he finds out her husband might be gay. And then in the comments of this particular post, Sean Strickland went in on Brendan. No, here he is. There he is, right? So Brendan's got this constant little troll that he does now, where he kind of rags on electric car drivers and says everyone that drives an electric car is gay. I don't know where this like hatred for electric cars came from, but it seems like a new thing. that he's kind of pushing. He says everyone that drives a Tesla likes to suck dick. Elon is gay too. By default, everyone that drives an electric car is gay. Blah blah blah. It's a strange thing he has with it. But then I guess Sean Strickland might be a fan of electric cars. I don't know. Maybe he's a fan of Elon. Who knows? Maybe he's got shares in Tesla. Who knows? Sean Strickland decided to clap back in the comments and said the following. In the fucking replies, Sean Strickland, verified in all sorts. Sean Strickland MMA. My man, you're the only person to roll a performance truck doing a donut. If anyone needs self-driving car, it's you. Which is hilarious because when you add context to the story, not only is he one of the only people to roll a performance truck doing a donut, he rolled it doing a donut stationary. So he didn't even do a donut correctly. He was just in a stationary position. He turned the steering wheel on a raised pickup truck. Again, I don't know much about cars, but I know if you raise a truck, add suspension to it, and you just turn the steering wheel and then put your foot on the throttle, or the accelerator, more than likely, that thing's going to tip over and flip over. And obviously, that shit happened. So Strickland MMA said that, and Brendan's reply was kind of funny. If I can actually find it, bear with me a second and try to get it to load up on here. But Brendan did actually reply, and his reply was horrendous because he didn't spell correctly. And if I'm not mistaken, on Instagram, you can't edit your replies. So whatever you reply to somebody in the comments with, typos included, you can't just edit that. You have to kind of sit with it. That's the annoying thing about Instagram replies. So Brendan was trying to rush to reply back to Strickland and clap back to him, but unfortunately he rushed and said the wrong thing. Yo, big up Wingers.
Who's worse, Brian, Bendon, or Joe?
What do you mean in stand-up? In stand-up, Brian, Brendan, or Joe in stand-up? I say Joe still. I say Joe. Even though I don't have much experience because I've only got into him now, I say Joe still. I think Joe's still the worst. Because just the shoutingness of it, it's really up in your face. I think Joe might be the worst. I think I would have a good time if I'm drunk enough, if we're in the right people, the right group of people. I think I could have a good time going to a Brendan show, unironically. Same with the Brian Callen show. I don't think I could stomach being in the audience watching Rogan do comedy. You know what I mean? It's just so bad, you know? That's what I think. But again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Anyway, let me see the reply. I can't find it on there. It's not loading for me properly. I want to see Brendan's fucking reply on here. I'm sure he said something. Let's see if I can find it. Is it on here? No, I don't want to report a problem. Sorry, I don't want to report a problem. Where is it? He said something like Manuel. Where is he? There we go. See, look. So Sean Strickland said that thing about him over there. My man, you're the only person to roll a performance truck doing a donut. If anyone needs a self-driving car, it's you. Papa responded and said, Bud, you can't even drive a Manuel and you ride a Harley in sandals. Now, to be fair, the Harley in sandals clapback is kind of funny. You kind of got him there, right? Riding a Harley in sandals is kind of redacted. It is a kind of badass too, especially if it's a manual transmission and you are literally changing the gears with your flip-flops on, right? And you're riding around in a Harley on there. You know, if you fall, all your toes will be completely lifted from your fucking feet. So that's fucking crazy. All your toenails will be completely lifted from your toes. But I feel like the last bit was good. But not being able to write manual and instead of writing Manuel and your autocorrect actually spelling it like Manuel as well and capitalizing the M is such a big L that it eradicates the dunk that he did at the end. The dunk at the end was good, but the fact that he said Manuel is hilarious because he probably does know a Manuel, right? He knows a Manuel. He texts a Manuel. Maybe it's a member of his extended family, and it autocorrected to a Manuel instead of just doing Manuel. Fucking hilarious. And of course, Sean Strickland jumped on that. He did not let Papa live that down. Obviously, you see the Manuel post there, and Sean Strickland posted on his story. This man makes it so easy. And he replied back to his comment and said, "We all know you learned to work on a stick on Manuel, bro. I post videos of me doing donuts. I love it. We all know you learn to work a stick on a man well. Is fucking hilarious. Big up fucking Sean Strickland. Let me see if I can find the other second reply that he posted, but that's fucking hilarious. Let's see. We all know you learn to drive stick on a man well. You got a low. Okay, it keeps repeating the fucking post here. But yeah, Strickland's a fucking bad boy. Strickland is a fucking bad boy. We all know you learn how to drive stick on a man well. Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I don't really get the ribbing and the jabbing from Brendan and Sean Strickland. I felt like when they were on Food Truck Diaries, I felt like they got on pretty well. Sean Strickland seemed to have good banter with Brendan, but something changed. I don't know what exactly changed, but something changed between them recently, and they're no longer as cool or as close as they once were. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. So RIP to that relationship and that friendship, but it doesn't appear to be the same as it once was. It does not appear to be the same as it once was, unfortunately for them. Moving on, we got this clip. It says just 2 of the 250 working cats are Callen's hilarious pot to pull from. Thank 'em. Let's play this clip. I think this might be. Oh, this is during Thiccc live #1. Remember they had a Red and Sea at the Vulcan about this, right? The stepmother ship or whatever Brendan was calling it. And after one live podcast appearance, they had to fucking can the entire thing. Remember they were saying, oh, they're gonna reschedule dates for like April or June or something. Well, April and June have been and gone. No rescheduled dates for Thiccc live #2, and it was a complete and utter horror show, which is hilarious because I think I was one of the people within this fucking commentary scene who was saying these guys should do more of these live podcast special things. They'll probably make a lot more money out of it. It'll probably be a lot more fun for the fans. They'll probably sell a lot more tickets. And I got proven wrong once again. I got proven wrong with my assessment that Rogan's actually a good stand-up, and I got proven wrong that there's a demand for Thiccc live. It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately for these guys.
What's funny about the shot put is, like, you know.
Oh, he's still doing. So that joke about the shot put, he was doing it at this fucking place. The joke that he made in the car, right, that we just saw recently, that I just played for you here. He'd repeat this joke is something he's already done. Yo, Brian, even when he's trying to be like viral, it's still fucking rehashed jokes. He doesn't write any new material, in it. The most laziest stand-up ever.
Guys may think that swimming gets a little too much attention in the Olympics. The last time I cared about beating somebody in a swimming race, I think I was 9 years old. I mean, 4 years of sitting in a pool for like, you know, maybe winning by a fraction of a second. There's only one sponsor in the sport as far as I can tell, Speedo, so good luck making any money. And yeah, they have good bodies from the waist up, but from the waist down, I've seen Smurfs with better legs in a lot of cases. Now, gymnastics, that's a sport I get. That's got utility outside of gymnastics. Like, it's great for kung fu, or if you're an art thief and you have to dodge lasers, I guess. And then there's shot put, another sport that, man, 4 years to be able to say that you can throw a cannonball farther than anybody else.
Oh, he's already doing those jokes, the same jokes, bro. God almighty, Callen, man. Have some fresh material, brother.
What's funny about the shot put is, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's worth spending your time doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can throw a cannonball farther than fucking anybody. And then there's shot put, another sport that, man, 4 years to be able to say that you can throw a cannonball farther than anybody else. And what if you come in 6th? Now you're the 6th best cannonball hurler.
Can you imagine walking past this guy as he's like screaming into his phone in his car, creating content, trying to go viral at 60 years of age? Like, go back in the house and play with your kids, man.
I mean, I admire the commitment, but man, talk about risk.
The guy who introduced it took a risk, dude.
Oh, you gotta love Mr. Brendan coming in there. Mr. Me Too. There's one thing Brendan loves to do, is when you make a funny joke, he just repeats it. Which is not what you should do as a stand-up. I think it's fine when you're with your friends. But I think as a stand-up, you're meant to take kind of pleasure in actually making up your own premises and riffing off what someone said, but actually adding to it, not just like repeating what they did. You're actually trying to, you know, expand and maybe get to a point where you might be able to craft a joke out of what they said. but not directly the way they said it or the subject matter, but just from the overall maybe subject matter or theme. But Brennan just repeats it, play by play, just repeats it.
Producer took a risk, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
And he wasn't the first person just fucking go like this. And some guy's like, no, dude, you gotta fucking really twerk into
That
it.
is how it started.
Jesus Christ, man. No wonder Thiccc Live didn't last. No wonder it didn't last, honestly. Zero effort, 2 stalls, 1 mic stand, no red chairs, no none of those those gold shoes on the table, no real good special guest, no real structure to the show, just them going on stage shooting the shit. Horrendous.
And then somebody went, you gotta fucking, No, bro, you fucking, I figured
It's
it
the
out.
torque.
This is the type of comedy that will crush when you're in a bar with your friends. Imagine somebody just started doing this, one of your friends, as you're getting pissed up drunk. Oh my god, man, you should be on fucking HBO, man. You should be on Rogan, man. You're fucking funny. Your friend that kills it. This is gonna kill it. But for these guys to be professional stand-ups, allegedly, to be some of the most elite stand-ups in the world, to be some of the stand-ups that people can't touch, to be some of the hallowed, community ones that are up there amongst the stars, for this to be the type of stand-up that you do, it's an embarrassment.
I can't geesh like chalk.
I'm gonna take but they came off. I think.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking brilliant. That is fucking brilliant.
What's funny about
that is fucking brilliant. Oh my god. Yeah, they got even the tongue action in there as well included. The redacted tongue action. When all else fails, when you can't get jokes, when you can't get laughs out of people from just actually making genuine funny jokes, the thing that the hack always does is results in pulling funny faces. Look, it's a big grown-up making funny face. Look at me, I'm sticking my tongue out. That must be funny, right? I'm sticking my tongue out. Look. Funny. It's like, bruh, come on, bruh. Come on. Next one. It's tricky. Yes, it's tricky. This is one of my favorite ones. This is one of my favorite clips of all fucking time. It's tricky. I bet it fucking is tricky.
That Chateau Marymount or whatever by the
Chateau Marymount, yeah.
Yep. You stay at the John Belushi suite.
Chateau Marymount. John Belushi. Oh fucking hell, man! What type of Hollywood LA guy are you?
John Belushi, yeah.
John Belushi.
Chateau Marymount with John Belushi.
What's it called? What's it called?
I don't.
Is it not a tricky hotel name?
It's.
Hey guys, it's tricky. It's a little tricky.
That's fucking hilarious. The music in the background makes it fucking super fucking hilarious.
It's tricky. Hold on. Chin, what's it called?
Chin, what's it called? I like how he wrote Chin in, because I think behind the scenes the common knowledge or the widely accepted belief is that Chin and Brendan are probably the same IQ level. Maybe Brendan's slightly above Chin, but he tried to rope Chin in and get him talking because he thought, oh, you're dumb just like me, you're gonna fuck this up too. But then Chin pulls a fast one and surprises him.
Chateau Marmont.
Yep.
And John Belushi. Well, John Belushi.
Yeah, it's easy. That's all tricky.
So actually Chin actually knows how to say the name. Chin actually knows how to pronounce Chateau Marmont, which you'd imagine most people in LA, Hollywood would know how to pronounce because it's an iconic location, hotel, blah blah blah. But for some reason, Brendan doesn't know how to pronounce it. Chateau Marmont. No, he doesn't say. He says Marymount, doesn't he? He says Marymount.
That Chateau Marymount or whatever.
No, he says Marymount. Look at the face as well. You know what I'm talking about, right? Chateau Marymount. You know that tricky hotel name, the Chateau Marymount. You know the Marymount one, the one that's on a mountain, but it's Mare. Like what? What the fuck are you talking about, brother? Marymount? No, it doesn't work like that. It's not the Marymount. Oh my god, bro. One more time. That was fucking gorgeous. One more time in the beginning. Chateau Marymount?
That Chateau Marymount or whatever by the
Chateau Marymount.
Chateau Marymount.
Yeah.
Yep. You stay at the John Belushi suite.
John Belushi suite. Chateau Marymount. John Belushi suite. You gotta fucking love it. You gotta fucking love it. Continuing on. We got another classic clip here, courtesy of the Thiccc subreddit. Beast of a co-presenter. Let's see this one. Beast of a co-presenter. This one should be fun. This one should be fun.
Joined by the international man of mystery, Brendan Schaub. It's no mystery.
He doesn't smile like that anymore, by the way. He doesn't smile like that anymore. Right? That's when things were up and things were looking good. Showtime checks coming in. You know, open door at Rogan's, Comedy Store gigs, you know, Laugh Factory situation popping, living the life of luxury. Man does not smile at that anymore. He doesn't look that happy. Makeup isn't that gleaming. Blazer jackets don't fit that way anymore. Man, what a sad way to end it all. Things were really good, were sweet for this motherfucker, and he just found a way to piss it all away in the fucking sink.
Man of mystery, Brendan Schaub. It's no mystery. You are in fuego these days, my friend. Congratulations on episode 100 of Below the Belt. You went from 0 to 100 real quick.
I like the Drake reference there, Morrow.
Hey,
out there,
Late, cringe.
Wada has his hands full at these press conferences because there's no one better on planet Earth than trash talking than the Gypsy King.
Not even.
He got given, honestly, such. There's maybe an argument to be had. I don't think people are having it because I'm just making it up now. But there might be an argument to be had that Brendan might have been responsible for the end of Showtime. His show, hemorrhaging money, wasting money, being such a disaster, may have played a role in Showtime Sports having to end. Having to completely shut up business and close up shop and, you know, cease to exist. His inability to be good at what he does when it comes to covering combat sports, although being a former professional, might have played a role in Showtime eventually going under.
Even his fellow Irishman, Mr. Conor McGregor?
Well, I'm talking about boxing.
Tyson Fury shocked the boxing world. November 2015 when he upset Vladimir Klitschko, won 3 of the alphabet titles, became the...
He's struggling so bad. It also shows that he can not interrupt when he needs to. Right? When it's a job and he's been paid well to and he has strict instruction, he cannot interrupt if he wants to. He just chooses to interrupt on other shows because he feels like, you know, he's a big dog and maybe he pays the bills around there so he can do what the fuck he wants. So that's funny.
Lineal heavyweight champ, mental health advocacy, but we both share.
Yeah, can't wait for that. And I think with Fury, too, losing his...
Mental health advocacy. What? He doesn't advocate for anything apart from give me money, buy my tickets, buy my merch. Advocacy, you know?
Wait, he's the original key.
Didn't he also make a very disparaging comment about Tyson Fury's mental health thing? About all that mental health bullshit. A very like, you know, a very rude, condescending remark about his mental health struggles. I think so.
No kid. He's with Tyson Fury. It's impressive. Listen, I'm 6'4". It's tough for me to find nice suits and stuff like that. At a big venue like the Staples Centers, just speaks volumes. And I think whoever comes out on top of this fight, you're in another there in Big Bear. And there's.
It doesn't even seem like, judging by this clip as well. I'm just watching this from the outside in. I don't know, but it didn't seem like he did much research in it. That's the only thing that was puzzling me about these gigs, because I would think if you're on TV, especially doing like sports shit, you should have a couple anecdotes, a couple stats on deck, maybe a couple quick hot takes you can kind of blurt out. But you should be doing a lot of probably prep and reading. I would do, personally. I would do a little bit more prep and reading, especially if you're doing TV shit. You need to kind of be on your A game a bit more, but he wasn't really on that sort of vibe. He didn't really give a shit about that at all. He just rolled in, did what needs to be done, bare minimum, and just kept it moving. Kind of have to rate the lack of fucks he gave about actually doing any homework or research.
These guys go up there for a reason.
High altitude, right?
High altitude, and you get away from the family and all the other shenanigans going. However, I think what makes Tyson Fury remarkable at trash talking is we know the obvious. The obvious is out there. The entire crowd knows the obvious. That's with comedy, too. You know, hopefully, I don't know if he's brought up.
That's with comedy, too. Imagine shoehorning a comedy point. That's why you know you're too comfortable. If it was me, I would kind of want to go out of my way not to speak about things I always speak about, to sort of make sure that I'm in like sports, combat sports, boxing mode, and only talk about boxing, or maybe pour some fresh new references and shit in the stuff that I say, or maybe some new cliches I can kind of pull out of my back pocket. But I wouldn't be going straight for the hacky, oh, it's just like comedy, just like my fighting career. It's like,
on rioters or something like that. If you need help, hit me up. If you need help, but it's tough, especially on the third stop.
Back when man thought he could actually write, he was pitching shows to fucking networks and shit. I'd love to see the scripts of those fucking shows. By the way, I'd love to see pilots if they even filmed them.
If you asked a professional comic to come up with original material, 20 minutes of material for 3 consecutive nights in a row, it's gonna be tough for it to be good. You can do it. Is it gonna be good? I would keep focus on those rounds. 7.
I think he's starting to also realize during this fucking clip you can see when somebody's starting to get glazed over. Because I noticed a lot with DSP. When DSP was on Kino Casino, those guys were glazing him and, you know, gassing him up and trying to be his best or pretending to be his best friend. And obviously they're doing really well at it because DSP kind of buying it hook, line, and sinker. But you could tell when you looked at some of their host face when Kino Casino was talking to DSP, they had this same sort of like glassed eye look behind their face, kind of dead behind the eyes, waiting for the guy to sort of finish, kind of almost regretting asking them a question because they're just rambling now. And this is what this I think it's Maro guy kind of looks like. He's just realizing, oh shit, Papa's a bit of a redact. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just waffling. He's just yapping, as the kids say.
7 to 10. 7 to 10. When Wilder gets familiar with Tyson Fury's movement, that's where it's gonna get dicey for Fury.
A basic question, but a crucial one. How important is the
Good
jab going to
branding.
be?
You know, the jab's where it all starts, and Deontay Wilder's known for his jab. But if I'm a betting man, which I am, and
I'm a betting man, which I am.
It will not end until
Epic.
This is like the key.
Oh, did he feel a little bit? Did he kind of wince? Did he kind of like cringe at the black guy touching him?
Not end until December.
Oh, he didn't like when a nigga touched his shoulder, did he? Papa didn't like when a nigga touched his shoulder, did he? Look, he kind of flinched.
It's just not stop.
He got really uncomfortable when the black guy came next to him. Yo, Papa is not beating the racist allegations. He got really uncomfortable when the guy came next to him. Look.
Just not stop.
This is like the key fight. This is the key fight for them in their careers. The winner of this moves on to the big Scrooge McDuck payday against the Golden Goose and Anthony Joshua.
Joins us here. We appreciate this, Deontay.
What's up, brother?
Moreover, now
Oh, nearly forgot the handshake. He had him hanging there. My God. I mean, Brendan will try and go for a handshake over there. Just talk, man.
appreciate this, Deontay.
What's up, brother?
He didn't see him. He did not see him. He did not see him, bro. I wish he just would have sat down the entire time. He did not see him. Look at that. Fuck, you know, that would have been an epic fucking... That would have been an epic ignore, but he eventually turned around.
Job. Moreover,
What
now,
up, man?
now, Deontay, we've said this.
Most definitely.
It's good. It's the last stop.
Most definitely.
I think it's good. It's the last stop for you guys. Let me ask you this, Deontay.
You know, we don't.
Jesus Christ, let him talk, bro. He's the guest. He's the star. Guy's trying to... I think he used to do that a lot, by the way. That kind of like over-speaking somebody and asking a question. Because it seemed like you were being fucking... like, you were paying attention. You know, like you were like paying attention to what being said. You were like, you know, you were really in tune, locked into the conversation. But God Almighty, in this sort of in scenarios, I can imagine, talking from the outside in, I can imagine it's at a press conference, you're at a weigh-in, whatever. The spontaneity of like the guy just jumping on and wanting to talk and trash talk is quite fun. I'm assuming a lot of these shows, reasons why they do these sort of like really big, you know, I would say big, but these productions at the side of the show with the lights and shit at the press conference is in part because you're hoping maybe someone from the corner team, someone from the coaching team, the actual fighters might come and just join in and just start chatting shit and just letting their nuts hang. When that happens, let the magic roll. Just take a back seat. Deontay Wilder speaks well anyway. He's a good trash talker. Just let him talk his shit. You have to kind of, oh yeah, and try and talk so you're on the same level and get this sort of respect. Just let him speak. Let him go. Maybe kind of poke him a little bit, but just let him go. Brennan just absolutely stepping all over the guy. And, you know, Deontay Wilder, because he's not wearing headphones, he can't hear him, so he just railroads him anyway. But Jesus Christ, Brendan.
Deontay, we've said this.
Most definitely.
It's good. It's the last stop.
Most definitely.
I think it's good. It's the last stop for you guys. Let me ask you this, Deontay.
You know, we don't. This is the thing about
Tyson Fury's an amazing fighter, but for you to finally have this huge fight,
Deontay's like, fuck, man. This white boy don't shut the fuck up. This white boy can talk his fucking ass off, man. This white boy out here just yapping and yapping and yapping. Aren't I the star? Aren't I the fucking star of fucking Showtime? This white boy out here just yapping. Yappity yap yap yap. Look, he's making he's making Deontay Wilder tired. He's making him fucking break out in a sweat. He's like, fuck, this white boy don't shut the fuck up.
I mean, you fought big fight in Luis Ortiz, but this pay-per-view Showtime, how rewarding is this? After going through all the, to be honest.
That's the classic Brendan. Ask a question and then follow up with another question. It's like, bro, let me answer one of these questions before I forget the other one. Like, fucking hell, bro. Like, put an end to the question. Like, the rambling is wild. And this is coming from a prolific and professional rambler myself. But he needs to chill with the rambling.
Bullshit, for lack of better words. Bullshit with the Joshua.
To be honest, the bullshit, for lack of better words, bullshit with the
guys. Who on stage is going to be able to hold two big guys?
No one.
Especially me.
I
won't.
And you don't want to risk it,
I
though.
told them I would run. If you guys start fighting, everyone thinks I'm going to stop it. I'm running.
Everyone thinks that I'm going to stop it. Way to insert yourself into the conversation. Nobody knows who you are. Everybody thinks I'm going to stop it. Like, honestly, Bappa, this level of Bappa, this era, he was untouchable. The ego in the head was so fucking huge. Everyone thinks I'm going to stop it, I'm actually surprised. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually surprised in this era. Maybe he actually thought he was bigger than it, but I'm surprised he wasn't offered a celebrity boxing fight around this era. Because nowadays, I don't think it makes sense. I know he lied and said, bare knuckle boxing offered him millions of dollars to fight. I don't believe that. I think around this era, if somebody should have offered him money to do a celebrity boxing fight, that would have been fun to watch. To see Brendan try, to back up some of his talk after spending so long out of the sport and not actually being a good striker anyway. Most of his strengths came from grappling and shit. I'd actually love to see him enter that thing. I'd actually be curious to see what his actual boxing is like.
Are those peanuts? Are those peanuts, Deontay? What are you eating? Are those peanuts on stage?
Yeah, this is my new logo.
Those are your own peanuts. You can say what you want, but Deontay Wilder was a little flustered.
The Gypsy King style.
Brendan, the fucking master of being all happy and sucking you off on camera. The moment you leave, trash talking you. Bro, you're recorded. You're on camera as well. Play nice. Both of these people are Showtime athletes in a way. Just suck both of them off. It's not a big deal. You have to pick favorites. God damn it.
Callen and profiling Tyson Fury.
Not mad at the watch.
Went to a live stream and a concert broke out.
Wow.
Real stars. Look at Brendan. Look at Brendan's face. Real stars. Look at Brendan's face. Look at him. Real star shit. Living on cloud 9, having the time of his life out here, bro.
Still got it. You still got it.
Oh, glazing from afar like that. Fuck, that drive-by glazing, side glazing.
Don't forget Bappa has 15 years of boxing experience.
I would love it. Big up Austin Casey. I would love it. I would love to see him actually box nowadays. Because I don't even believe he hits pads. Which I understand why. He got burned by the UFC, the fallout with Dana, all that shit. But he legitimately did fighting. He legitimately fought for a check. And maybe for notoriety and fame and shit. Once he was out, he was out. But he always took from a point of authority. So I would love to actually see him fight. Because I think he overestimates how good he was. And he probably overestimates how good he probably is still now. Especially after, 6+ years out of the cage or whatever it may be. It might be embarrassing. Which is probably why he doesn't take the fight. Because it's probably bad enough getting knocked out in the UFC professionally. That's one thing. But you can always say those people were elite. Imagine Brendan decides to do a celebrity boxing match now and some kid from FaZe Clan beats him up or some shit. Imagine. Some kid from FaZe Clan clips him and wobbles him. That meme is worse than getting flatlined by, Roy Nelson or something. Those guys are fucking animals and beasts. That's no shame in that. But some streaming kid, some kid on Twitch making fucking Brendan have Bambi legs? Nah. I don't blame him for not taking the deal. I don't blame him for not taking up the offer and the fight. I wouldn't do it if I was him. Fake Golden Gloves. Oh, he's a Golden Gloves. Is he Golden Gloves? Oh, he said he's Golden Gloves, right? Golden Gloves champ as well. Oh, yeah.
Tyson, thank you so much.
Champion of the world, and I picked right back up where I left off nearly 3 years later. So if that's not a testament for mental health, then I don't know what is.
Amen. Do you feel any pressure from those people who also
let him fucking get his round of applause and his cheers in, bro? Immediately steps on that fucking point.
So suffer from mental health issues that You're their guy now. You're the poster because this has never been done.
What? This has never been done. No one's ever suffered from mental health in professional sports and spoken about it openly. It's the first time ever somebody's done that. What? Yo, Papa was just waffling back then. And look at Murrow looking at him like, yo, this nigga's just waffling. He knows. This guy is just waffling. It's never been done. Fucking hell.
They told me you're going to fight Wilder. I'm excited, but I think for everyone, is it too much too soon?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's such, because those last two guys you fought, let's be honest, brother.
Yeah, I understand.
We could both beat them right now if they walked in.
I understand.
I understand.
Just let him finish. And honestly, I think he does this to show that he's engaged and he's, like talking and with some level of, knowledge of what he's talking about. But it's like, let your questions breathe. Let the person answer the question. For the fuck's sake, shut the fuck up.
Beat them right now if they walked in. I understand.
He's ever fought before.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Do you?
Fucking hell, the interruptions. The interruptions.
If they walked in. I understand.
He's ever fought before.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Did you feel?
He interrupted two people. The guest, who should be getting most of the time, and his co-host, who probably hasn't answered enough long questions or spoken a lot at all.
He's ever fought before.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Did you feel any pressure to take this fight? Because obviously you have the UK fan base, but with Joshua, that was supposed to be Joshua Wilder. That didn't happen. And then I told Fury, I told Wilder, what's shedding the weight? Is it the ketogenic diet? I heard you talk about that.
Yeah, I was on the keto diet.
Saturday, December 1st, live on Show.
Fucking hell, man. Brutal. It's interesting to see how bad he is on these shows. It's exactly the same as how bad he is on the Schaub show. Because I'd kind of accepted the Schaub show was kind of like phoned in, a little bit going through the motions because you're doing it in your own studio, it's your own thing. But then once you get a professional gig on TV and shit, on a proper big channel, you're like, you spruce up, you do your research, you got your talking points, you're doing short, concise points and shit, you let your co-host speak. You're being, you're being humorous, you're being funny, you're being chilled, laid back and stuff. But no, it's the same way he does the Schaub show and he does this. Just waffling on the spot, rambling, incoherently, stepping over his own questions, like just talking in circles. Like, God almighty, bro. That Showtime gig was one of the biggest scams he's ever pulled. I don't blame him for pulling the scam. Good scam, because it probably paid for a lot and allowed him to live a good life at that point. But Jesus Christ, man, he pulled a fast one. And can you imagine the Showtime bosses when they gave Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell that spot and they immediately saw a complete different change in quality of the show? Can you imagine if you were that person that gave Brendan the gig, or you gave Brendan the contract for his Showtime show, or he's a Blow the Belt show, and then you leave him, you fire him, or you don't renew his contract, you give it to Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell, and they come in and just completely kill it with this pure, super entertaining show, super informative, loyal following, great production quality and shit. You're just like, what the fuck? What were we wasting all this money? This guy just sitting on the couch rambling. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Continuing on. We've got another clip here, courtesy of the Fight and the Kid subreddit. This features talk around the water cooler. This is courtesy of the recent Schaub show. I haven't actually pulled any clips from this because this was a pretty boring episode of the Schaub show. But this is the recent episode of the Schaub show. Talk around the water cooler. Let's see what Brendan's talking about here.
Let's get into the fights, though. Casey, I heard you had horrible outing performance golfing this weekend.
Who said that?
Let's talk around the water cooler.
I wonder, it must be quite fun in a way to sort of like have your own little company that you sort of like cosplay as like a production company or like a network, and then kind of like hire people and then force them to be your friends because you kind of pay their salary. That must be kind of fun, knowing deep down these guys don't give a fuck about your life or don't care a fuck about you, but you pay them hard-earned money to sit there and listen to you speak and to have this like faux fake friendship thing they got going on the streams. It's got to be kind of fun.
Mark, did Mark tell you that?
When I say around the water cooler, I mean me peeing in the sink and Mark talking to me.
Mark played bad. Mark had a terrible round.
Mark said you and him had the worst
He's way
outing
up.
this weekend.
No, I shot an 82. I had a birdie. I had 2 bad par 3s back to back. If I par those par 3s, I'm shooting 78.
Yo, imagine tuning into a blockbuster Netflix MMA UFC boxing show and then being subjected to golf talk without, any encouragement. Imagine being exposed to that shit.
And we're good.
But you didn't.
An 82 is fine. That's a serviceable score. Could we have improved? Yeah. Was it the worst round of all time? No.
Okay. It sounds like Mark maybe had a negative perspective.
Between me and you, Mark shot like a 92.
And I would probably shoot like 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad night for Mark.
Yeah.
Marcus did not play well. I'd love to go with you guys. I just don't have the hours.
Come on out.
I know. I would love to go. I would.
Jesus Christ, I don't have the hours. What do you to fucking do? This fucking fake businessman thing is always interesting, isn't it? No time to do anything, but you buy loads of cars, film these shitty videos about them in your driveway, always on social media. You do what, 3 hours of podcasting a week or something, maybe more, maybe a bit less. No time, allegedly. No time. Press X to doubt on that one. But I do love this thing they did in the beginning of Schaub Show. If you watch recent episodes, I don't know why they do it. Maybe Brendan's run out of things to say. But I do love the little fake kind of life update. Hey, we're friends sort of thing happens on Schaub Show. Because it's meant to be like a lifestyle show, meant to be chill and hang out vibe. So they had this section where they update each other on their weekends. And it's like, yeah. It reminds you of the conversation you have with your work colleagues after a bank holiday weekend, Like, you're trying to not speak too much and not bore each other, but you all basically kind of did the same thing, but in your own way, Everyone kind of just chilled and hang out with their friends or their family or strangers. But you're just trying to not say it too tough, too much. But yeah, bring up Papa for trying to at least make the vibe around the fucking Thiccc fun and like a normal work hang, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I doubt that will happen anytime soon, but again, I could be wrong. I could be blood clot wrong. Moving on. Chin's self-censoring is worse than just saying it like an adult. Yeah, I agree. This is one of the most interesting and very regarded clips I've seen in my entire life. This might be one of the most regarded, redacted things I've seen in my entire life. Look at Chin.
All right, and I kind of looked into this whole, Izzy referenced this, PEDO guy, whatever, and I looked it up, and dude, this guy was locked up in prison for 13 months. He R'd a 12-year-old girl.
That's the world.
I don't know why he spelled it out like that, as if Brendan can't spell, or he would only get it if he said it the way he did it, with that with that emphasis on the R'd. But yeah, Chin is special, man. He's definitely he's definitely unique. That's what I'm saying. He's definitely unique.
All right, and I kind of looked into this whole, Izzy referenced this, PEDO guy, whatever, and I looked it up, and dude, this guy was locked up in prison for 13 months. He R'd a 12-year-old girl.
That's the world, bud.
Jesus Christ, man. Some of the best news you're ever gonna get from the Schaub Show. The best news you're ever gonna get, allegedly, the best news you are ever going to get is from the Schaub Show, with that particular bit of hot take and insight from them. You love to see it. You love to freaking see it. Moving on, we got another one. Are you curious to hear Brendan's thoughts on politics? Are you fascinated to hear what Brendan's stance is on certain policies and topics and shit?
I've
got the clip just for you. We got the Friday the Kids Subreddit, guys. This is fucking brilliant. It says liberal is tough these days. Let's play this clip. This is fucking brilliant. Liberal is tough these days. Come on, play, for goodness sake. There you go.
He likes RFK
a lot.
Yeah. He also liked Bernie Sanders. People think Joe's this far right guy and he's more of a liberal. But the definition of a liberal, they moved the field goal post on that. So liberals tough these days.
They moved the field goal post on that. It's fucking hilarious. Well, say volume is low. Let me put it a little bit higher. It doesn't look like it's low on my end, but let me put it to 6 dB. Honestly, politics chat from Brendan is just honestly, it's bad enough on the firing the kid. I think it's completely unnecessary on Schaub show. I think he should just stick to Schaub show, to just being MMA, or just talking about sports in general. Just make it your sports show, whether it's something happening in baseball, football, whatever. Just do it there. But politics talk, like normal podcast topic talk, is just dumb because no one wants to hear that from him anyway. And number two, it's the wrong platform, you'd imagine. But I could be wrong.
He likes RFK
a lot.
Yeah. He also liked Bernie Sanders. People think Joe's this far right guy and he's more of a liberal. But the definition of a liberal, they moved the field goal post on that. So liberals tough these days.
Liberals tough these days.
And there's basically two teams.
Okay, two teams.
What do you guys think of that?
Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Love it. Love to
Thank
see
you.
it.
There's basically two teams. Barcelona, Real Madrid. Fucking hell, man. I think a lot of these guys, when someone says something like "stay in your lane," they take it as an offense. But I think someone says "stay in your lane," that's actually a compliment because it means you have a lane. That's a compliment. They're saying, "Hey, I know you got a thing, just your thing isn't what's inside of one of these pots." That's okay. I think it's perfectly okay to say "stay in your lane," because once you stay in your lane and you double down on the thing that you do well, you're going to be, absolutely adorned and showered in fucking gifts and rewards and shit, for the most part. And you're going to put on a far more entertaining show than trying to be the answer to everything while being the answer to nothing. It makes absolutely no sense. But I find it fucking hilarious. Like, liberals are this, liberals are that. What? One more time, because this is fucking redacted. Fucking redacted.
He likes RFK
a lot.
Yeah. He also liked Bernie Sanders. People think Joe's this far right guy and he's more of a liberal. But the definition of a liberal, they moved the field goal post on that. So liberals tough these days. And there's basically two teams. What do you guys think of that take?
Love it. Love it.
Field goal post, Jesus Christ, man. Imagine going to, because it's weird, isn't it? In one sense, you got Rogan running away from his responsibility, quote unquote, or his platform. Then you got Drake, essentially running with his flipping paper to make sure that this take fucking stays a few days. I fucking love it. I freaking love it. Let's continue to grow. Let's have it. Let's continue to grow. So, everybody tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like the stream down below if you're enjoying what you're seeing. Make sure you enjoy the stream down below if you're enjoying what you're seeing. What more do we have here? Let's play a couple more before I have to bounce. We've got, what's this clip? Homeless Mayhem drives me nuts. Let's see this one. What's Homeless Mayhem? I haven't seen this one. What's this one? Homeless Mayhem drives me nuts. What's this saying here?
But
McCorkle guy. The McCorkle guy. Yeah, he's super funny. He fucking hates Brendan, man. I love it. Let's see what he's saying.
But guys, Dana says that John Jones is the greatest heavyweight of all time.
I mean, he might be, but he's only 1-0 as a heavyweight. So, but Jason,
fucking ridiculous. It drives me nuts. but.
I don't think you think Mayhem knew what he was saying there. Oh, the nuts is fucking incredible. One more time.
But guys, Dana says that John Jones is the greatest heavyweight of all time.
I mean, he might be, but he's only 1-0 as a heavyweight. So, but Jason,
fucking ridiculous. It drives me nuts. But.
I don't know if he knows. I hope that he does know. I really do hope that he does know, and he's doing it on purpose. Hopefully he does, because that would be fucking epic. Because that fucking nuts video still to this day lives absolutely rent free in my fucking head. I fucking love it. So I'm hoping that this is all part of the one big troll. You can only fucking hope. One can only fucking hope. Let's see. I've actually got. I can actually find one actually here, or the post that I initially did about the nuts thing. Let's see if I can find it. Bear with me 1 second on here. Is it there? Nope. see if I can find it. I think I did post it one time. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, it's not there. Wait me a second, so I try to get up to load on here. If you like what you see what you like, make sure you like the stream down below. Don't be stingy. Don't be fucking stingy. Thank you. Cool. Have I got it on here? No, I don't have it. I don't have it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Let's move on. I can't find it. I don't know where it's at. Yeah, big up Abe Martinez. I've been quoting this at work when shit gets messed up. Drives me nuts. Big up Green Bay Football. I like the layout in the background. AZ. What's the boxes with Avon? Avon? I don't know what the Avon boxes are. Maybe keys and stuff. Little knickknacks and shit. I'm not sure it's Avon boxes. I'm not sure if I got Avon boxes. Avon? Man don't have Avon boxes. Maybe I do. I don't know. But they're usually just stuff with random shit in it. Random knickknacks, knickerbory curries and shit. You know how it is, bro. You know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it is. Okay, cool. I can't fucking find this fucking nuts video. I thought I had it easily to hand here, but I guess I don't. I guess I fucking don't. Okay, well, who gives a fuck? Let's continue. Let's continue. Next clip on here. Next clip. New cat out of Detroit. Let's see what these guys are. New cat out of Detroit. Let's see what these new cats out of Detroit are saying about Baba.
On my lap. That really helped me perform.
I'm sure that helped. It energized you.
Yeah.
But he says he's got to make it between $500,000 to $700,000 a year with a whole bunch of employees. I don't know how he can keep that. How can that maintain with all those employees?
And he's got this new thing too. And maybe we should skip to my last clip on here. My clip.
Actually, sorry, the sound's a bit low. Let me up the volume a little bit here. It's a bit low on this one. Let me put it to the end. Let's continue on. 1 second, one more time.
That really helped me perform.
I'm sure that helped. It energized you.
Yeah.
But he says he's got to make it between $500,000 to $700,000 a year with a whole bunch of employees. I don't know how he can keep that. How can that maintain with all those employees?
And he's got this new thing too. And maybe we should skip to my last clip on here, my clip number 14, because they do their plugs at the end. And Brian Callen, who's a comic, throws out all these dates. I'm going to be in San Diego, and then I'm going to be in Austin, and then and he throws out all these dates and check out my website and buy tickets. So then it's time for Brendan Schaub to do his plugs. And guys, can you even tell me what this is? He does not explain it at all. It makes no sense.
Drive fast, all gas this Friday, Saturday, Sunday at midnight. It's gone forever. Limited edition King Shocks, Drive fast, all gas, camo tees and hats that you see me rocking right now. It's a limited drop only this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You get 30-time entries as well. But
don't get me wrong. I get what he's saying. I think he ordered it the wrong. He said what he said in the wrong way. But it's a very good observation. He doesn't actually make it clear. Like, if Brian's plugging his dates for his stand-up special, Brendan should come on and quite clearly say, thank you for all the entries for the raffle. New merch is going up now. So if you're waiting to buy raffle tickets, new merch going up now. Limited edition drop. This won't be available for a long time. But this particular merch, if you do buy it, I mean, he should have said that sort of way. I think he kind of said drive fast, all gas, as if like everybody knew what was going on. And no one does. It's a weird plug to just say at the end. So he kind of ordered it the wrong way, but it's a very good observation.
Once it's gone Sunday at midnight, it's gone forever. Go to drivefastallgas.com, enter your chance to win this badass Raptor R killer. All right, guys, love you.
I don't know what the call to action is.
Merch? Is that what it is? Why is he rubbing his thigh the whole time too? That was off-putting.
Why is it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at midnight, but there's a website involved? Like, is that West Coast time? What does that mean? And then he says 3x entry, but he doesn't mention that there's a sweepstakes or anything. He did a horrible job promoting whatever he's promoting.
Brilliant. And that's the thing I've said before. I think in general that raffle isn't going well. I don't believe so. I think anytime somebody pushes, living in the world of sneakers and streetwear and all that shit, and knowing what I know, the more you're pushing stuff and heavily marketing it and really going for it, most likely you're not selling enough of it, and you're panicking, which is understandable. And sometimes putting a bit of effort in can maybe help getting some sales over the line. But usually it's not a good sign when you're constantly having to think of fucking new schemes to try and get this thing moving. And in general, I just think the merch peaked ages ago. I don't know when. Big up NJ Ranger, I appreciate you.
Carl is a Kumia ball washer and presumes to cover lol cows whilst butting up with Mersh, Steel Toe, and Chrissy Mare. Bappa sucks, but Lady K has a face for radio and a voice for Braille.
Jesus Christ. Lady, I don't know who these people are, but NJ Ranger just destroyed them. I don't know who the fuck these people are. Having a face for radio and a voice for Braille is fucking wild. All these names, and I recognize Chrissy Mayer. I know Steel Toe is. I know who Mersh is, but I don't know who Carl is. And I don't know which one is Carl, Oh, okay, the one talking is Carl, I'm assuming. Okay, yeah, big up NJ Ranger. Fucking hell, man. NJ Ranger fucking hates Anthony Cumia, bro. NJ Ranger fucking hates Anthony Cumia. Hates him so much. I rate the hate. I rate it. Consistently hating on Cumia. Always there to rain on his parade. Always there to remind everybody that he's a racist and an arsehole and a piece of shit. Oh my god, I love it. And what does Kino guy say? And anyone that sweeps for him, NJ comes in and just obliterates them, bro. That's fucking incredible. Thoughts and feelings go out to fucking Lady K and whoever that is, because that's gotta hurt. Oh Jesus Christ.
A truck, right?
Yes, he's giving away this Ford truck at drivefastallgas.com. And I don't really understand how it works. I know that he's trying to sell T-shirts and hats and shit.
Yeah, he implied that if you buy...
Yeah, see, so I wonder if most people are still confused. They make a really good point. Are most people still confused about how the whole giveaway truck thing works? Because from what I understand, a regular raffle, you buy a thing and you get a raffle ticket that then you can then use as a way to kind of claim the big prize. It gets put into a lottery, basically. So in this particular thing he's doing, it kind of works out weird where like one T-shirt counts as like thousands of raffle tickets, technically. So it increases your chances of winning, which is obviously not true because it's kind of a scam, it's a ruse, whatever. But it seems easy to understand in my point of view. You buy merch and you're hoping that by buying a $40 T-shirt, you may have a chance to win $1,000 fucking multiple $1,000 car. But maybe because Brendan's so redacted and he's not the best communicator in the world, maybe he's actually not making it clear how you can win the truck. Maybe there are some people out there that are really confused, who actually want to enter, who want to buy a bunch of merch, who are excited about it, but don't know what the fuck's going on. And they just think it's a scam, or they're just worried, that they won't enter it correctly. I wonder if that's part of the reason why it's not going as well as it could. Just Brendan's communication skills aren't helping. Maybe he should have done like a read for it. Maybe there should have been like a read for it, a little sizzle read. Is it sizzle read? A little sizzle roll? I don't know what it's called. A little ad for it, basically. A little pre-recorded ad he just basically did. That he plugs at the end of the show and he just kind of runs for 30 seconds, gives you all the, the top level fucking information. Boom, call to action, keep it moving. Maybe that's what he should have done.
Merch that you are entered, but then the too lazy to try guy said, I read all the rules and you don't even have to buy merch. You can just sign up.
That's the law around sweepstakes in this country.
Yes.
You have to give an option where there's no purchase necessary.
Right.
And I don't think he makes that basically obvious either, by the way. I don't think I remember him saying too often, no purchase necessary. Maybe he said like turn over show notes for details and shit like he always does. But I don't think I've heard him say many times, no purchase necessary. He's not really stipulated that. So that's something you have to kind of find out by yourself, which is there. But obviously, most people know if you enter without purchasing, the likelihood of you winning is 0.1. You know what I mean? You're not gonna win if you don't. You basically have to purchase something. You have to purchase something. Anyway, before I leave you guys, I'm gonna head to the gym now. I want to play this clip. This clip, I feel like, for me personally speaking here, talking to you guys here, as a regular human being, I think encapsulates why I love covering Papa and why I'll never stop covering Papa. Because this particular clip is so redacted, beyond words, it almost makes you question why Thiccc team, Thick Boy Studios team, thought it would make for a good official clip on their actual official Instagram account. Their official Instagram account, the real live one on here, posted this clip that makes completely no sense. Let's play it.
Yeah. So why the tank top, bro?
Why not, bro?
You decided to show it off.
Daddy's in shape, eating right.
Yeah.
It's the summer.
Yeah.
When else you wear a tank?
Oh, no way. It's wrong one. Wrong clip. Apologies. This is the clip.
How the fuck is MMA not in the Olympics?
I mean, I think MMA should be in the Olympics 100%.
It's also an international sport.
Yes, correct.
And then people will say, well, that's because, you know, you can have Volkanovski represent Australia because he's a pro. Well, the NBA does it.
Yeah.
LeBron's a pro. They're in the Olympics. This is one of the reasons I don't think Dana and a lot of, maybe not the other leagues, but maybe the UFC doesn't push for it. Because think about it. Francis would represent Africa.
What?
So you could potentially have Francis versus John Jones on the Olympic platform, and the UFC wouldn't benefit from it. But also, if you it's so short-sighted because let's say John versus Francis happens at heavyweight, or Tom Aspinall fought John Jones in the Olympics and won gold, it just builds your asset even more. Like gold medal, award winning, and yeah, you beat him in the Olympics, but now we're doing the UFC as the main event. Like it just builds the resume. You're just investing in your athlete. I think it'd be dope.
I agree.
How the
I love Callen at the end there, cucking as usual. I agree. How many times has somebody told Brendan that Africa isn't a country and it's a continent? How many times has he been told? I feel like every single time it comes up, he gets told. But like I've said plenty of times on here, I think part of Brendan's redactedness and what makes him incredible to kind of cover and laugh at, I feel like a lot of his redactedness comes because he knows he's wrong, but he can't be bothered correcting himself because he feels like you get what he's trying to say. So when he says that Francis Ngannou is from Africa, and then he doesn't really acknowledge the fact that Africa's a continent and not a country, he's almost saying by default, I know what you are saying, that it's a continent, but let's be real. If I just say it's African, you know what I mean. It's just African. It doesn't really matter if you're from Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Angola, South Africa, Kenya. Africa's Africa. That's basically what he's basically saying. Dogs are dogs, Africa's Africa. That's why he's so redacted. Because he honestly, I feel like, knows he's saying it wrong, but he can't be bothered to try to memorize the exact country in the continent of Africa that somebody is from. So you just say it's Africa. Of course it's Africa. It's like the America thing. He does the same thing with the America. It says, oh yeah, he's just American. It's just like, what? But you can be from a place. You can have ancestry from another place also, similar to Brendan having half English ancestry and shit, that can play into who you are. It just doesn't mean because you're from a place, that's where you're from and that's particularly it. It's so fascinating to see. Then on the other side of things, when it comes to the UFC in Olympics, you think somebody that Brendan always kind of speaks about himself being quite business savvy, and I think he made that quote, or he said that quote, like to Dana White when he was going through the beef with him. Oh, I can do your job, you can't do mine. I'm a beast of a guy. You're stealing all my ideas. All this sort of like stuff, right? He kind of credits himself to being a bit of a, you know, clocked on guy, business savvy dude. I am struggling to see why somebody who has actually done the sport, who's actually been a former UFC fighter, would try to encourage UFC to be a part of the Olympics, knowing how difficult, how brutal, how taxing, how tiring, how unforgiving that sport is. To try to have it be done in some sort of like tournament thing that can last over a couple of days. Like, why would you do that? Why? I think as fans, as a fan, as a casual fan, as a hardcore fan, whatever, I don't understand why you want to push for the UFC to be in MMA, or MMA to be in the Olympics, or UFC to be in the Olympics. I get why you'd want to push for it. You just want to see more fights. You want to see fun fights. You think the Olympics is boring, whatever. You just want to see your fighters fight more often. But I think as a former athlete, as a former professional fighter, you're almost putting other people that do this thing in danger by not considering their health and shit and how badly it would affect them. how much time it will take away from them fighting already. At the moment, UFC already is in a bad place money-wise because Dana doesn't really, not necessarily respect the fighters, but he kind of takes the piss out of the fighters with fighter pay. Already the fighters are in a place where unless you're a champion, you kind of have to fight for your supper, basically. If you don't fight, you don't eat. That's how Dana does it. But unfortunately, the more you fight, the more susceptible you are to losing. The more susceptible you are to losing, the more you're on the line to get cut. So Dana's designed a system where they don't get paid a lot, but if you fight a lot, you get more, and then if you fight well, you get bonuses. So imagine a scenario where there's also the avenue of the Olympics, and the fighters are always looking for a way to kind of boost their profile, make more money, blah, 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 blah. Now you're having these fighters not only compete in the UFC or one championship, but also then go and fight in the Olympics and compete in a tournament that would last 3 days? Over 4 days? 5 days? They'd be fighting 2 or 3 times a day to get through certain rounds and shit. How would you score it? Like, it's just crazy. Crazy that anybody who actually done the sport would actually advocate for something like that, especially considering, you know, the fucking abuse most of these fighters go through to put on fun fights for all of us to watch in the comfort of our own homes and our boxer shorts and shit. It's crazy. But for me, the best thing of this clip is still the Africa thing. He just can't ever get that right because he doesn't give a fuck to get it right. I think he knows Africa isn't a country, it's a continent, but he just doesn't give a fuck. Exactly, Austin Casey. 32 on the ACT. 32 allegedly on the ACT, but he doesn't know that Africa is a continent and not a country. Honestly, legitimately one of the best clips I've ever seen. Play it one more time because I fucking love it.
What the fuck is MMA not in the Olympics?
I mean, I think MMA should be in the Olympics 100%.
It's also an international sport.
Yes, correct.
And then people will say, well, that's because, you know, you can have Volkanovski represent Australia because he's a pro. Well, the NBA does it.
Yeah.
LeBron's a pro. They're in the Olympics.
He's got such a baby brain, innit? His way of computing or rationalizing or just coming to conclusions or thinking about things is such like an infantile. Well, LeBron does it. Well, basketball does it. It's like, bro, have you just not sat with your thoughts for just a couple of more seconds? Just a couple seconds. Just sit with your thoughts, think it through properly. Just, well, it's like, wow, bro. And this guy was a millionaire at one point, by the way. A millionaire at one point. I love it. I love it. I love it.
This is one of the reasons I don't think Dana and a lot of, maybe not the other leagues, but maybe the UFC doesn't push for it. Because think about it. Francis would represent Africa.
And I love how he mentions Dana as a way to make him sound like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, you know Dana, you know business Dana, you know me and Dana on the same wavelength, you know business, you know blah 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 blah. It's like, bruh, because Francis will potentially represent Africa. Francis who's no longer in the UFC. Cool.
So you could potentially have Francis versus John Jones on the Olympic platform, and the UFC wouldn't benefit from it. But also, if it's so short-sighted, because let's say John versus Francis happens at heavyweight, or Tom Aspinall fought John Jones in the Olympics and won gold, it just builds your asset even more. Like gold medal, award-winning, and yeah, you beat him in the Olympics, but now we're doing the UFC as the main event. Like, it just builds the resume. You're just investing in your athlete. I think
the silence in the fucking room. The silence in the room.
Be dope.
I agree. Of course you agree. You paid your fucking salary. I agree. What did the comment say? Francis is from Cameroon, not Africa. Have we not banned Brendan from thinking yet? The obvious, you can't have a bunch of dudes having MMA fights with a break of a day and then back to another fight. Exactly. Imagine Volk in a 3-round Raw with Max and then fights Ilya 2 days later. Not to mention weight cuts. Guys would have to fight their real weight or keep making an artificial low weight for a couple of weeks in a row. Doesn't translate or doesn't make sense. Another one. John Africa would represent Africa. Of you look at boxing at Olympics, it's not made up of the current world elite boxers who are pinnacle already world elites. It's actually for young adults still forging their way, e.g. Mike Tyson, Wilder, Joshua. If MMA made it into Olympics, it would only elevate the sport and help see in the newest stars. That's actually a good point. He's not making that point though. He's talking about John Jones and Francis Ngannou. That's actually a good point. Actually trying to figure out a way to get MMA into the Olympics, but having it be like boxing where it's like up and coming, semi-professional, semi-whatever, amateur people coming up and shit. That's actually way more interesting as a way to kind of do it, as opposed to just having like the people you already see on fucking fight cards. Doesn't make any sense. Another one, still thinks Africa's a country. He still doesn't know Africa isn't a country. What makes you think that if you opened up MMA in the Olympics that UFC fighters would be the ones winning? Exactly. Good point. Even Rogan agrees that while the talent in the UFC is amazing, if it was lucrative as an NFL level athletes will be in the UFC dominating commonly. Most UFC guys are there because they have to be, and will have to, and will tell you that. Give any of them an option of an NBA contract or getting punched in the face, and they take the NFL every time, which is why they have the best athletes in the world. That's partly true. That's partly true. I agree with that, but I think it's changing nowadays though. There's a lot of like high level athletes coming in as well who are choosing to go to UFC MMA route as well. Can't forget about injuries though, huge factor. Africa's a continent, Brandon was so close to saying Francis was from France. Yeah, true. That's a really good point. He was about to say that, innit? They would have to adopt a 3-minute round. It doesn't count against personal record. How many fights would they have to go through? Damn, France is going to represent an entire fucking continent in the Olympics. That's crazy. No pressure, Francis and Ghana. Yeah, Team Africa. Imagine the Team Africa kits, honestly. The Team Africa national anthem. Like, honestly, can you imagine? Team Africa. Honestly, man, this guy is like a genuine, unadulterated redact. How many fights would they have to go through? A few weeks period to compete? Wouldn't be professional though, am I right? LMAO, continents are hard. Exactly, continents are hard. I gotta like that one. I gotta like that one. Continents are hard. MMA careers are short enough as it is. Can we vote to see how much saliva Brian has in his mouth? Africa's a continent. Da di da da da. Big up the street. Big up the fucking commenters. I fucking love them. They always echo some of the thoughts I have and make me feel like I'm not going insane, because Bappa makes some absolutely balmy calls, says some absolutely legitimately redacted stuff, and I love it when they correct him. I love it when they correct him. So great to see. Great to fucking see. Great to fucking see. Anyways, my friends. That is it for me now at the moment. I'll come back later for another episode. I'm going to actually do the reaction to the Elephant Graveyard thing. I haven't checked out yet. The reaction, he did a really good review of the Joe Rogan thing, but I haven't watched it yet. So Elephant Graveyard did the reaction to Joe Rogan Burn the Boats. I haven't reacted to that yet, so I'll do that for the next part. So come back later, we'll do that one. And I've also got to do Chin, recent vlog, and I think that's it. And then I'll do the I'll actually fucking, what's the thing called? I'll actually watch the Thiccc episode, take the clips from that, and then do a reaction to that tomorrow. So we'll go through a few of those tomorrow. So I can't wait. It should be fucking cool. Big up everybody tuning in. Appreciate all of you. Make sure you like the stream down below. Don't be fucking stingy. Don't be fucking lame. Like the stream down below. Like the stream down below if you've enjoyed your time here. And I'll see you guys again in a few hours for another episode of The Random Show. Thank you for tuning in so far. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like part 1, like part 2, and part 3 coming up in a few hours after I come back in the gym. Big up everybody tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you so much, and see you guys again very, very soon. Peace.